why I teach property like I teach martial arts. Property isn't hard because it's complicated. It's hard because it requires discipline over a long period of time. So anybody can enroll into a martial arts school, they will become a white belt or they learn the white belt and then they'll work through the grades. Now, talent is obviously a part of it, but at the same time, there's that old saying, isn't there, that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And underpinning that is that determination and discipline. The same is true in property. If you're looking for get rich quick type of schemes or anything like this, you definitely won't find it on my channel or on any of my blogs or any of my books or anything like that. We need to understand that for you to be successful or for anybody to be successful in property investing and so on, they're thinking long term and they're understanding of, or they understand the need for that discipline and the determination to keep going day after day, week after week, and be aware that they're always taking those daily steps forward. Just like the compounding effect has on the assets that you own or you're looking to own and so on, the compounding effect also happens with the daily habits or the daily disciplines you have. So again, one thing that differentiates us from other mentors or other providers and so on, obviously we don't have thousands of people in the room because that's not what we do. One thing that we want to make sure is that our mentees are understanding that a lot of it is down to the mindset and a lot of it is down to their self-belief and understanding that they're on this transformational journey. So, I mean, I'm writing down a few things here really: fundamentals, repetition, patience, emotional control as well. Now, I remember what it's like. Again, I'm still a mentee in certain programs because I still want to make sure that I'm learning as well. Again, various different programs really, but lots of the early property mentoring that I went on to, it was always information dump. Now that's fantastic if you haven't read any books, you haven't read any blogs, you haven't watched any YouTube videos or anything like that, and you're completely new. Now it's good, but at the same time, it's bad because that is like a brand new white belt coming through your martial arts school doors and dropping a large chunk of the syllabus on them in 1 or 2 days and then expecting them to go off and understand all the principles and so on. Now, they might have some of it up here, but most of it they won't be able to understand the application of it and why it's needed and so on, which is where the deep level of learning needs to take place. The same is true in property. So if somebody said to me and they paid me for a private one-to-one session, which we tend not to do, teach me as much as you can about buy to let, so as much as you can about BRRs, I'll pay you for the day or so on. That's all fantastic, but you will then notice that when that information is implemented, that there are going to be holes in, there are going to be gaps in the knowledge and little nuances really that are needed in order to be successful. Now, I still need to learn lots more. Open handed, I still need to learn lots more in karate, definitely, and I still need to learn lots more in property. But that's the purpose of this journey. I understand that it's a long time commitment, and again, bringing it back to that Kaizen principle, the way of continual improvement. As long as year on year we're getting better, year on year the portfolio is, whether or not it's producing more cash each month, whether or not it's growing in capital, whether or not it's diversifying, as long as each year it's getting better and so on. And in the long run, that's what it's about for us. It's definitely not, if you've been watching any of my videos before, we're not this, I don't give this, BS type of approach where there's hype involved in it. I'll just basically say it straight. It needs discipline and you need determination in order to keep getting up and keep showing up to be successful in property. And especially what I mentioned there, that emotional control. If you're in a room full of other property investors and they're all at the same level, fantastic, brilliant. You're going to pick up a few things from them, but you always need to be listening to the mentor at the front. But sometimes the emotional control can be like a little bit of jealousy. How's that person secured a £250,000 joint venture deal? How's that person gained, gained a loan with 1% interest over the year or something like that, or an unsecured loan? How come they're making all this money in essays and I'm doing boring buy to lets and so on? So there's that emotional control needed at all levels, definitely. Whether or not you're a white belt beginner and whether or not you're moving through the grades, intermediate and advanced and so on, that's where you need to understand your strategy. So emotional control is definitely one there. So mastery comes from fundamentals. People say, how did you get to be a 6 dan in karate? How did you get to earn your black belt? How did you get to be this? And the same for probably your successful things that you've done in your life. So how did you do this? You might be able to do half marathons, uh, marathons, Ironmans, whatever it is, fitness based. Your business might be super successful. How did you get that level? A lot of it is down to just understanding the fundamentals and applying them day in and day out, and making sure that you're efficient with the fundamentals, because those are the ABCs of your journey. The same is true in property. So you might know a lot about SA, HMO, title splits, flips, BRRRs, but it's always the 80-20 principle. Okay, so 20% of that, your knowledge will generate 80% of the returns. And it's your ability then to make sure you're really honing in on the 20% that's going to get the biggest returns possible. Progress is slow, then obvious, yeah, definitely. So when you start off in martial arts, and again, if you choose to apply to the Black Belt Property Academy, start off as a white belt, and progress isn't granted because you've been there 3 or 4 months. It's earned as a result of how you progressed and how you transform, really. The same is true in property, the same is true in martial arts as well. So a lot of it, and I'll keep banging the same drum, it's about understanding the fundamentals, keep going over it, improving your skill set, but also not neglecting the fundamentals. Progress is slow, definitely is. It can seem to take forever, but hopefully one day in the not so distant future, you look back and think, I've travelled quite far there. I started off with one property, now I've got 3, I've got 5, I've got 10, I've got 20. Or I started off only doing buy to lets, now I've got SAs, now I've got HMOs. It's always about that progression and understanding that it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not the Black Belt Property Academy anyway, definitely not. You don't become competent by knowing more moves. And again, I'm trying to avoid this turning into a martial arts style video. However, there's a famous Bruce Lee saying, "Fear not the man that's done 10,000 kicks once. Fear the man that's done one kick 10,000 times." The same again is true in property. There is nothing wrong with buy to lets. Absolutely nothing wrong. They're a long term generational wealth piece. I know quite a few investors that only do buy to lets because they like to get the property. Obviously, they might choose to manage it themselves, outsource the management, or give it to a company to on lease, sorry. But they're looking long term. They know that although they're getting that money into the bank account each and every month, it might be 250, 300, 400, 500, £600 passive income each and every month. They understand that the money that doesn't land into the account, which is the capital growth year on year, hopefully, that's also a big part of their journey. So let's not overlook that ever, really. Why most property educations fail. Now again, I'm not attacking any mentors here at all. Definitely not, in no way, okay, because that's not my style. But for us at the Black Belt Property Accelerator and the Black Belt Property Academy, obviously the higher levels and so on, a lot of it is about making sure that we're trying to understand the grit and determination and the drive needed here, but also refine their outlook and their approach, really. Okay, so for us, it's not so much about information dump, verbal diarrhea. This is how much we know, this is this and this, just rattling on for ages. It's more about making sure that you're understanding the core principle underneath it. Because if, like any technique, if you understand the core principle and you can apply that core principle to other things, it's going to help you. So again, I'm not going to offer, and we don't offer any type of shortcuts or any guarantee saying by the end of 12 months of being on the academy, you will have 10 properties or anything like that, because there's facts in there that we can't control, like your drive, your determination, your ability to keep getting up, keep showing up, and week on week, making sure that you're nudging it further forward. So yeah, I'd never suggest chasing shortcuts ever. When some of the students used to say, how do I get my black belt, sensei? You could always say, you could easily, and so can you now probably, have a look on Amazon on your phone, type in karate black belt, judo black belt, martial arts black belt, probably cost you £4 or £5, and you can get it ordered, and it'll be there on your doorstep probably tomorrow. But you won't have actually earned that belt. The same is true in property, really. Okay, your progress is obviously measured in the things that you've done and how you're growing as a person and how your portfolio is growing. So again, let's not always look for shortcuts, because the Instagram, the TikTok type of stuff, I got this Lamborghini after one rent to rent deal. I got this Rolls Royce after two amazing HMOs and so on. I did this flip and did whatever it is. Those things can happen, but for us, and maybe for you if you're watching it so long in, we understand that this is a long-term approach. We understand that the wealth piece comes over time, not after a 3 month, not after a 3 month rent to rent deal or anything like that. Most people don't fail in property, they abandon discipline. So yeah, that's it. And again, I know I mentioned this in other videos, suffering from deal heat or letting emotions get the better of you. You just need to make sure that everything always boils down to your Excel spreadsheet. Does this deal work? Does it not work? Is it in line with what I want to achieve with my portfolio? Or am I just doing this because I can get the keys in my hand and, I'll have a little bit extra passive income coming in? Always needs to tie back to your goals. So the parallel really between martial arts and property, white belts, you start to see deals and you start to understand deals, but then as you progress through the intermediate grades, you can quickly analyze deals quicker and understand the various exit plans available. But once you start getting to the more advanced levels, the browns and definitely the black, you'll be able to see how white belts think there's lots of opportunities, and there probably are, but you will, if you're a decent black belt, understand which is the best opportunity and which is the best strategy to go for, with often minimum effort with maximum reward. Part two, don't know what happened there, but anyway, if you're still with us, we need to understand then, obviously, that, property rewards behaviors, not so much enthusiasm. Now, enthusiasm is fantastic, but it's like motivation. It can fade off, or it often does fade off. Now, again, I help people with the motivation because obviously I believe that does, help in your success journey, whether that's in your business, in your life, or, your health and fitness, property. But we must understand that motivation is like having a shower and eating. It needs to be done daily. It's not just a one-off thing. So with property, enthusiasm does help, but it's that black belt discipline that's needed to make sure you keep taking steps further forward each week, each month, each quarter, each year to achieve your goals, really. So, again, what I wanted people to understand from this video is the Black Belt Property Accelerator and definitely Black Belt Property Academy. We teach property differently. Of course, we're going to teach the fundamentals, but we're always going to revisit the fundamentals, because no matter how much I learn, again, as a mentee, when I still invest in my own knowledge through other mentors, I can still learn more, and there should always be something that you pick up that you can apply. And I know I mention this a lot, information is power, information is a key. It is, but it's that applied information. Okay, it's that applied knowledge that is going to help you be more powerful and more successful. So with that, really, now I'm just going to leave the video there. But what I need mentees to understand is, or potential mentees, if you're looking to improve your journey, if you're looking to improve your portfolio success, whether or not that's, higher or more lumps of cash or some lumps of cash, understanding the B+R strategy better, understanding buy to lets, 3 to 5 year full repair and insuring leases, then of course we can help you. But our mentees, we want to make sure that they understand, again, this is what the application process is for, that they understand that this isn't a short-term fix. By 3 months, I'm going to have secured one property, my net wealth is going to increase X amount. By 12 months, I'm going to increase 3 to 5 properties. I'm going to invest it, in 3 to 5 properties, and my net wealth is going to be worth this much, and so on. It's like any journey. And again, that's why I link it back to martial arts. It should be continuous. You can never complete martial arts. Okay, it's like saying I've counted to infinity. It can't happen. So even in martial arts, when you achieve black belt, if you're not a martial artist, that is not the end. If your instructor, if your sensei taught you well, you'll understand that you know the basics, but there's still so much more to learn. And that's pretty much the same in property, really. You can understand the basics of buy-to-let, refurbishing a property, refinancing a property, understanding return on capital employed, and all of the other bits and pieces. But it's about you becoming more and more efficient with those basics, but yet still learning more things in order to improve and raise your game always. Anyway, if you stuck around this long, hopefully you've already subscribe to the channel. If not, hit that subscribe button. And if you're serious about improving your property journey, not just obviously enrolling on a property course, because we don't just do property courses where you're with us for 3 days and then that's it, off you go, apply all your buy to let knowledge. It's about a journey moving through along with the other mentees and understanding that progress happens over time. It doesn't just happen super quick. Okay, so good luck, keep taking steps further forward. If you're interested in the Black Belt Property Accelerator or Academy, then check out the website, have a look on my website, dervishdervish.com. Fill out the application form there. We review applications weekly, so somebody will get back in touch with you. Okay, good luck, keep taking steps further forward, and maybe watch this video again, have a look at some of the other videos, make notes, and start obviously getting better and so on. Good luck, take care.